So the last few Mario Party games have been pretty meh, which is why I'm super happy to report that the newest one in the series is amazing. Mario Party Superstars is a love letter to the series, bringing back 100 of the best minigames from Mario Party 1 to 10 and making those minigames look and play better than ever. After having played this game quite a lot, I feel like it's time for me to rank out my favorite minigames of them all, and this is exactly what we'll be doing today. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and let's just jump into it. When Squid Game was the popular show and everyone was talking about it, I remember seeing this meme showing us that Mario Party was actually the original Squid Game, with characters getting completely destroyed, and Shy Guy Says is one of the mini games for that. In this one, all players are inside of a wooden barrel, with Captain Shy Guy raising a red or a white flag. You have to do exactly what he does, because if you mess up just once, you're done for. Goodbye, Mario. The fun thing about this minigame is how Shy Guy is trying to trick you by raising both flags and lowering one afterwards, or just straight up changing ideas, forcing you to be fast, but also not too fast. This minigame is such a fun one, and I love playing it all the time. Alright, trust me, you don't want to play this next minigame if you have the Joy-Con drift, because in Crazy Cutters, what's important is to be super precise. Basically, all players are on a jackhammer and a shape is drawn on the floor. Your job is to trace the outlines of that shape without messing it up by going outside or inside of it. You're going to have to trace boos, bloopers, and chain chumps, each coming with their own quirks and challenges, so you actually never know what to expect, which is kind of amazing. Getting a perfect score in this minigame is not an easy task, but if you want to win and get those 10 coins to buy the star, well, you better start practicing today. Does anyone remember that moon in Super Mario Odyssey in New Dunk City where you had to play jump rope and get to like 100 consecutive jumps without messing up once? Yeah, that thing was fun, but very difficult. Well, Mario Party Superstars decided to bring back a classic from the first 2 N64 Mario Party games. Welcome to Hot Rope Jump, a jump rope game, except the rope is actually flaming hot lava bubbles. You'll want to be extra careful, especially if you're one of the players that's standing on the edges of the rope, and you'll want to time your jumps right, which is actually easier said than done. The rope constantly slows down and speeds up randomly, forcing you to react instantly. One of the fun things about this minigame is that you can actually play it for as long as you want in an endless mode. Tell me, gamers, what is your personal best? Cakes. I love them. If I could eat a cake every single day, I would. This must be why I love the minigame Cake Factory that much. In this 2v2 minigame, you and your partner are actually waiting for cakes and strawberries to get close to you so you can pick them up and assemble the most beautiful cake ever. The fun thing about this minigame is that both players need to be good, because a cake is not complete without a strawberry on top. So, you have to make sure not to put the strawberry first, that sucks. Or you have to be sure not to put a cake on top of another cake, although this would be very delicious, I am sure. When I was a kid and I was being kind of a bit of a brat, making funny faces, well, my parents would always tell me that if I kept making that face, it would get stuck that way. Funny enough, this is exactly what Facelift is all about. In this minigame, you start off by seeing Bowser's face getting distorted in weird ways. Once that is done, you and your opponents have to replicate that funny face the best you can by grabbing Bowser's cheeks, nose, eyes, mouth, and etc. Back in the Nintendo 64 era, this minigame was poking fun at how you can do the same thing with Mario's face in Super Mario 64. And even though this reference is getting kinda old now, the minigame is still as fun today as it was back then. Alright, tell me, do you guys enjoy reading? I know I sure do, but let me tell you that if books were as big as the ones in Book Squirm, I'm not so sure I'd enjoy it as much. In this game, you and 4 players are inside of this giant book, with pages falling down on you. Thankfully, the book was vandalized and there are some holes inside the pages, so if you go where the hole will drop down, everything will be just fine. But this is easier said than done though, as some of the holes are shaped in weird ways and not getting pushed by other players becomes quite challenging. The circles are fine, but those moon-shaped holes though, I truly despise them. Just like Hot Rope Jump, this minigame can actually be played forever, and you can aim at getting the world record. But you know what, I'm not really good at this one, so yeah, I will not get the WR, sadly. Some people like to take ice baths, as it apparently improves their thoughts and focus. This may be true, but I know that if you're playing pushy penguins, this is the last thing you want to do. Basically, every player is standing on a giant icy block, and the goal is to not fall down in the ice-cold water. Easy enough, right? Well, did I forget to tell you about the hundreds of penguins running toward you? Oops! Yes, there's a bunch of penguins running, and you have to move in between them in order to stay alive and warm. This will be easier said than done, because there's some really big penguins that are actually very hard to dodge, and all of the penguins run at different speed, so sometimes you see an opening and it closes in front of your eyes. No! Most minigames in the Mario Party series are pretty simple, and only a few actually force you to use multiple mechanics at once. This is the case for my next pick, Dungeon Duos. This minigame is a 2v2 one where you and your partner must work together to get to the end of an obstacle course. You start off by having to mash buttons in order to open up doors for your teammate, only to then push another button to spin some platforms in order to cross this big gap. Once that is done, the minigame ain't over yet, because you still have to find which pipe leads to the end of the obstacle course. Finally, if you want to escape the dungeon, you'll have to mash L and R super quickly to pump some air and use the hot air balloon to free yourself and win the minigame. Whew, seriously, this one is an adventure, and I secretly wish there were more complex minigames like this one in the Mario Party series. Well, you knew this minigame had to appear on the list sooner than later. There's no use explaining what Bumper Balls is all about. Everyone has played this game, and everyone I know enjoys it. Everyone is on a big balloon, and you have to push each other out of the arena. The last player standing wins. That's it, it's that simple. There are multiple arenas for Bumper Balls this time around, and some of them have bumps, making it very challenging to win. This is one of those minigames that actually force you to put yourself in danger if you want to gain some speed and defeat your opponents. I think they call those minigames risk and reward? Anyways, it's a great one. Alright, before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. What a fun minigame! You have to tilt the joystick to move faster, but if you move too fast, you'll just skid around and will come to a complete stop. In Bombs Away, you have to move around this tilting island, dodging cannonballs and your enemies, which is actually easier said than done. Trace Race and Crazy Cutters are actually really similar, but I decided only to pick one for the list. The thing is, if you like tracing stuff, this minigame won't disappoint. Mashing the A button to eat pizza? Yep, it's that simple, but it's surprisingly fun. And yummy. So this minigame is a classic, and it's definitely my favorite in the series at this point. Mushroom Mix-Up forces you to take a look at this toad in the corner, as he will show you which mushroom is safe and which are not. The thing is, you can jump and do some ground pound attacks, so you can decide to play it nice and friendly, just moving from one mushroom to the next and minding your own business, or you can play this minigame like a complete mad lad and try to squish your enemy, thus ruining their chances of going on the mushroom on time. Yeah, everybody plays this minigame differently, and that is probably what makes it so fun. You never know what to expect. Wow, those minigames were pretty awesome, right? But even though Mario Party Superstars is a great game, it also features some not so great minigames. And tomorrow I'll post a link of my 10 least favorite minigames from this series. So make sure to subscribe because you don't want to miss it. And if you're watching this in the future, well, you can just tap the cards on screen right now to watch it instantly. Well, I guess living in the future has its perks, right? Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!